As a tiny puppy found himself abandoned, despair likely consumed his heart. However, a glimmer of hope emerged when a compassionate woman stumbled upon him and took him under her wing. Little did he know that her subsequent actions would prove truly extraordinary. French bulldogs possess an endearing charm due to their petite size and lovable qualities. However, few people are aware of the numerous challenges they encounter during birth. These delightful canines are often born in small litters and require additional affection and attention, particularly because of their diminutive stature. Augustus, on the other hand, was exceptionally tiny, to the point where something terrible transpired right after his arrival into the world. Megan DiBiasio, a veterinarian who dedicated her expertise to dogs of all breeds and sizes, operated a renowned rescue center that provided exceptional care for its furry inhabitants. Megan held a special fondness for breeds with short muzzles, including English bulldogs, pugs, Boston terriers, and French bulldogs. She exercised extraordinary vigilance with these breeds, as they were prone to birth defects and severe breathing difficulties. Moreover, they were often bred for their pedigrees. Consequently, if a puppy failed to meet the perfection expected by breed standards, it was frequently discarded or abandoned, deemed unworthy compared to its siblings. This cruel treatment of animals ignited Megan's deep involvement in these specific dog breeds. Over the years, she had saved many and given them a second chance at life, often performing the necessary surgeries needed to improve their quality of life. She would then find the beloved pups a well-deserving home that would take care of them. She was openly against the breeding of such pedigree dogs. She attended seminars around the country in an attempt to educate people on the dangers of having puppies with such short snouts, and of course addressing the issue of breeding pure dogs. She based her rescue center in New Jersey, close to where she lived with her family, so she could spend equally as much time with her family as with her rescue pups. To keep fit, Megan would often embark on runs around her neighborhood. That way she could be outdoors getting some exercise in the fresh air, but also keeping an eye on the local dogs. It was her personal endeavor to look out for abused or mistreated animals. After all, it was her passion to care for such animals. There was a house in the neighborhood that she was very aware of because the owners were breeders of French bulldogs. She had tried on many occasions to address the issue with them, but they had not been very friendly. They saw breeding as a source of income and insisted that they loved and cared for their dogs. These were claims that Megan struggled to dispute. After all, nothing indicated that the dogs were not well cared for, so she had to put her personal prejudice aside and just continue with her life. She was, however, very aware of them. Mans often tried to look inside the yard when she ran past. The neighbors were quite chatty too. Some of them were on Megan's side with regard to breeding after they learned how detrimental it could be to the puppies, so they would often update Megan on the movements and behavior of the family. One day, Megan got a message from one of the neighbors saying that the breeders were moving. They had seen a moving truck pull up and the contents of their house piled in. This was disappointing to Megan, but she knew there was nothing she could do. After all, they were well within their rights. She made a mental note to run past the house that afternoon just to see what state everything was in. Little did she know what she was going to stumble upon. When she got home that afternoon, she quickly jumped into her running gear and was about to leave the house when her 6-year-old caught up with her. She thought she might want to watch a movie or play with her, but was pleasantly surprised when he said he wanted to go on a walk with her. He helped him put on his little walking shoes, and the two of them were off. They came close to the now empty house, and she stopped to see if she could see anything out of the ordinary in the yard, though while she was looking, her son dropped her hand and ran to the side. Her heart jumped up into her throat as she spun around to grab him. The last thing she needed was for him to run into the busy street, but to her surprise, he was running towards something small and brown on the sidewalk. She caught up to him and screamed in surprise. Before the two of them was the tiniest French bulldog she had ever seen away from its mother. It couldn't have been more than 2 to 3 weeks old. Megan was aghast. Clearly the breeders had abandoned the poor pup based on its size. She could partially understand why. She could immediately see that there was something not very right about the poor little pup. Her son took his jacket off from around his waist and handed it to his mother. She used it to gently pick up the little pup. They walked home as fast as they could, as they both knew that the puppy needed immediate help. When they got home, she asked her husband to watch their son and then popped into her car driving fast to her rescue center. There she had a closer look of the little pup that confirmed her suspicions. The puppy had a cleft palate. This meant that he wouldn't have been able to suck properly from his mother, hence his malnourished size. In addition to this, her colleagues discovered that the puppy had fluid in his brain. Both conditions were treatable, but first he needed to gain a little more strength and weight. Taking the adorable puppy under her wing, Megan brought him home, where her family instantly fell in love. The son who had assisted in the rescue bestowed the name Augustus upon him, as they found him in a state of distress. Even Megan's own dogs grew fond of the sweet pup, particularly a caring pug who took him under her wing, providing nurturing support due to his underdeveloped state. Initially delicate and lacking in personality, Augustus began to thrive both physically and emotionally after 3 weeks. Megan was overjoyed by his remarkable progress. Her devoted care had granted him a second chance at life. However, what she did next moved everyone to tears. Once Augustus attained a suitable size and weight, Megan made a life-changing decision. Already having adopted him, Megan realized she could do even more. She arranged for little Augustus to undergo surgery, not only to repair his cleft palate, but also to alleviate the pressure caused by fluid buildup in his brain. Initially, Megan's son was heartbroken, fearing that surgery would mean parting with his newfound best friend. However, Megan assured him that everything would turn out fine, and soon he would be able to see and interact with little Augustus. With unwavering confidence in herself and her team, Megan proceeded with the life-saving operation. Despite facing numerous challenges due to Augustus' incredibly small size, Megan and her colleagues triumphed. They successfully repaired his cleft palate, enabling him to use his mouth more comfortably. Furthermore, they managed to reduce fluid buildup in his brain, facilitating his swift development. Augustus transformed into a brand new pup, benefiting from improved eating abilities and a healthy growth rate. Though his recovery took some time, the abundance of love from fellow canines and humans accelerated his healing process. Megan shared Augustus' heartwarming journey with her friends, relatives, and local news outlets. She aimed to raise awareness about the advocacy work she pursued, emphasizing how a simple operation can forever transform a puppy's life. Grateful for that fateful walk with her son, which led to the discovery of the abandoned pup, Megan was determined to provide him with the utmost love and care in the perfect home he deserved. Such a touching tale. If you happened upon an abandoned puppy with an evident birth defect, what course of action would you take? Do you agree with Megan's decision to share her story with the media? Furthermore, how do you feel about breeding dogs solely for financial gain? Share your thoughts in the comments section below.